Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Nick, and this is Exotics Anonymous. My first ever YouTube video where I'm actually on camera talking and setting up the GoPro. I sliced my finger open to the point where it wouldn't stop bleeding and had to get a band-aid. So we're off to a good start, but I wanted to do my first video talking about the state of the car market as we are right now, because it's a very interesting time. The Aston Martin Valhalla just launched the other day, officially launched. Obviously, they showed it 6 years ago now. And it's $1 million basically after options. It's 1,000 units being made, about 1,000 horsepower, and it's a really interesting spot because it's not really like a hypercar in terms of performance anymore, because you can buy an SF90 that has 1,000 horsepower and isn't even a limited number car, and the Lamborghini Revuelto, same thing. So it's kind of like in a weird spot because it's a limited number car. It's got similar, at least straight line performance to a SF90 or a Lamborghini Revuelto, and you know, it's a weird time in the market. So where does that car sit? Is that a hypercar? Is that a supercar? A McLaren Senna, another one that's kind of in a weird spot and has been for a few years, about the same money, a little less performance, but better track performance, obviously. But with that being said, the car market is just all over the place now, because we've got supercars that are coming down in value finally after the last like 4 years of absolute craziness in prices, and not everything's down to maybe where it should be yet. Like if you want to buy, say, like a 2017, 2018 Audi R8, the first couple of years of the newer body style before the refresh, they're about 160, 170, whereas honestly they should probably be like 130. McLaren 600 LTs are sitting around 200. That's maybe like 20 grand high. I would think those would sell closer to 170, 180. But, you know, 2 years ago, an R8, like a 2017, 2018, was still 180 grand. A 600 LT was 250, 720s were 300. Now everything's starting to come down a little bit. So we're in a good time because things are finally starting to change, but a weird time too, because now we have all these hypercars that are 3, 4, 5 million bucks. Some of the electric ones, nobody's even buying them anymore. The Rimac, they can't even sell all 50 that they were going to make. The Lotus Avaya, who's even talking about that? I don't know if they've sold a single one, or if anyone's actually taken delivery of one. And you know, then there's actual good hypercars still, like the Valkyrie, but you can't really drive that on the street. Bugatti, the Tourbillon, that's great, probably one of the best cars that's come out recently, because you can actually use that on the road. It's impressive. It has a new engine. It incorporates hybrid, but it also has a naturally aspirated V16, so it kind of blends the best of everything that everybody's looking for. And it just seems like in general the electric car fad is starting to die out a bit, and maybe synthetic fuels are going to try to help with that in the future, and just, you know, easing emission regulations that should be happening for the next 4 years because of the recent elections should maybe just keep some good cars coming out for longer. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. But at this very moment, as we are at the end of 2024, I just wanted to kind of discuss, you know, where everything is right now, and hopefully look back at this in a few years and see if any of these, you know, trends played out further, hopefully beneficially so for car lovers. And if not, then, well, that would suck, because that means everything will still be expensive. So hopefully things work out and good cars start to drop. Some stuff I've been looking at closely recently, 720s are about 250 grand. Would love to see those closer to like 200, because, you know, I mean, a 2018 you can get about 180 right now, but nobody wants a 2018 because that was when they had all the problems. And, you know, you don't want a McLaren with problems, obviously. So, but they hammered a lot of that out, like 2021 and upwards. So, as those cars start to come down in price and like there starts to be good value for money again, because as we know, the dollar's just gotten absolutely destroyed the last few years. It'll be interesting to see what all the new cars that come out, kind of where they sit in price, because let's stay on McLaren for a second. The 720S was the flagship car. Now they've got the 750, which is kind of like a in between a 720 and a 765. But they'll have to replace that car altogether soon. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 1,000 horsepower or so. The new W1 just came out with a little over 1,200. So you would think about 1,000 horsepower to compete with Ferrari and Lamborghini. Theoretically, they have to price the car around $500,000. Like, that's just, for that much performance in that class, that's kind of where that comes in at. Which is why I thought I started this video talking about the Valhalla, because that's 1,000 horsepower, but it's like $1 million. Whereas, you know, I'm sure this new McLaren will be 1,000 horsepower for half the price. And now that SF90 values have just tanked, those are, you know, 450 grand. They'll be probably 350 pretty soon at this pace, and for 1,000 horsepower. So why would you go buy something that's $1 million with 1,000 horsepower? Now, I'm not hating on the Valhalla. I love the Valhalla. I think it's probably the coolest new car coming out in the near future. It's different. It's Aston Martin doing it. It looks good. It looks like a supercar James Bond would drive, you know, whereas like an SF90 looks like a parts bin car that they slapped together. So it's it'll be interesting to see where cars like that next 720S successor come out. You know, everything's so fast now that does it really even matter how much horsepower it has at this point? I'm starting to get over it. Like, after you have 600 or 700 in a car, what are you really doing on the road anyways? And if you want a track car, yeah, the road stuff is good on the track, but like if you're spending $1 million, you can buy a very nice, you know, actual track car that's not road legal, but is way better on the track, and, you know, have money left over to spend on maintaining it and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where everything plays out the next few years. This Lamborghini Temerario that came out is cool. If that engine actually works, they say it revs to 10,000 RPM. It's a twin turbo V8. Believe it when I see it, at least not for any time soon. Like, I know they said it's supposed to come out like 25, but I doubt we see them before anytime, you know, 2026. Just because they have to make a twin turbo engine that revs higher than most companies can get naturally aspirated engines to rev to. I don't really see it happening very easily, and they have to deal with the hybrid at the same time, right while we're in the middle of most Revueltos not working and sitting at the dealer and getting bought back by Lamborghini. So, you know, that car seems cool, seems promising for something new and exciting, but they have to actually get it to work. So hopefully they can, because that'd be a cool car to see around. Something different too, because if they can't do the V10 anymore like they did in the Huracan, at least they have a cool V8, you know, that revs really high to match up with it. But yeah, it's just the car market's so weird now. Like, I kind of feel like we're past peak cars. Like, all the good stuff is already out, and now they're just, you know, trying to make hybrid stuff that feels good like the old stuff, and sometimes they succeed. Like, I recently got to spend a lot of time in a McLaren Artura, and that car, phenomenal. Like, you get the instant power from the electric to get it off the line, and then it still feels like a McLaren after the engine kicks in. And it feels almost as fast as a 720S. I wouldn't say it's as fast, but it's close. So there's still good cars out there. Ferrari 296 is pretty good. SF90 is not so good. It's very numb, whereas like a 296 you get some feel, Artura you get some feel. The Revuelto, I have not been in it all yet, so I can't really speak on that one, but most of them are broken, so it's hard to find one to go in. But I'm sure once they come out, you know, and get all the bugs worked out, I would think that'd be a pretty good car, because you have the NAV12 keeping it interesting in a day of, you know, twin turbocharged 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders. NAV12 is welcome, even if it's with a hybrid assistance. So there's still good stuff out there, but I really think that a lot of this stuff that's already out is kind of peak. Like, you know, a 765 LT, a Ferrari Pista, 600 LT, Huracan Performante. Like, these are the cars that I think people are going to look back on in 20, 30 years and, you know, be desirable. Not these hybrid things that are coming out. Like, I was talking to our local Bentley brand manager today, and they have the new Continental GT there, and it's great. It's really fast. It looks like the outgoing generation for the most part. They just changed the headlights and the taillights a little bit, and it drives great, super fast. But in 7 years, that hybrid battery has to get replaced. So now, like, unless you're buying one new and you want to buy one for 400 and it's going to be worth 150 grand in 2 years, you either have to do that or buy it after it's done depreciating and start getting ready to, you know, spend a lot of money. I don't know how much that one is going to be yet. No one's had to do one, obviously, but hybrid systems in similar cars are, you know, 5 figures, and, you know, in hypercars sometimes 6 figures to replace them. So are we, like, going into an age where you can't even really buy a used car anymore because you have to spend so much money to fix it that it's almost not worth buying? Maybe. It kind of seems like it. Like, if everything's hybrid, yeah, but hopefully they'll be able to find cheaper battery solutions to make sure that that's not a huge issue going forward. But I don't know. It just kind of seems like that's where we're heading. It's a concerning time, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to broadly talk about the market as a whole right now. Prices have started to come down from, you know, the last 4 years. They're probably, I would say, still 10% higher than they should be. Actually, I was having a conversation with one of my friends this morning who's, in general, pretty knowledgeable about the car market, and he was, like, arguing with me about the price of E63s. He's saying they're 160 grand. I'm like, no, like, they haven't been 160 grand. Oh, we were talking about the wagon specifically, I should clarify, because sedans never got that high, but, I'm like, they haven't been 160 grand for months, you know? They're down to, like, the 110s, 120s now, and so things are coming down, but not everyone knows yet, so it'll be interesting to see if stuff starts getting bought at these prices and kind of stabilizes here for a while, or if, maybe the U.S. economy doesn't do so well and things go even lower, you know, so who knows how that'll play out. But I just wanted to do a general overview, get some time talking to the camera on video, and hopefully I'll be doing more videos soon on more specific topics. But I hope you guys enjoyed my first video, and please, if you could like the channel and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for watching.